Alright, this is post-tournament Chris. I didn't end up making an intro until now. It's been a good 1 day from the tournament. I had a tournament yesterday. I didn't make an intro, so this is the intro right now. This is a tournament. It's a C tier MA4 I'm in. It's sanctioned. It's what was it called? Memorial Day Bash. It's 2 rounds in 1 day. One's at Northwood, and then the other one is at Westwood. I played Westwood, and I played Northwood. This is going to be a voiceover like the last video, but I have both rounds this time. And, yeah, hit an insane shot. My best ever round in a tournament. You'll see that, obviously. I did pretty good. I will show you guys the results after the voiceover, so it's, you know, a little more suspenseful, but yeah. So if you guys do enjoy these kinds of videos and you want more, make sure you guys drop a like, you subscribe. And here is the voiceover. Alright, hole 1 is like a 200-foot shot, par 3, straight downhill. Plays about like 115 feet. I used my buzz, I just juiced it a little bit. I wasn't super happy with it, but I ended up having a little jump putt for my birdie, and I just went up a little short, but I was happy with the bid. Hole 2 is about 220 feet. I just go ahead and throw my buzz again at a lot of hyzer because this buzz just flips straight up. So you have to have a lot of hyzer into it in order for it to go. And it was a good line, good shot. I put myself to the staircase over right by the basket. Still outside the circle. And sorry for the weird camera angle, but I had a jump putt. I didn't even jump actually, but yeah, I made my birdie, which I was really happy about. Alright, so that puts me 1 down through 2. This is hole 18, but this is hole 3 for me. My drive wasn't great. Hit an early tree, kicked out to a kind of a bad spot, but I had a little forehand flicker that I was actually able to do pretty good with. It's my Warbird. Just not enough ante on it. If I put on a little more ante, it would have been perfect golden right next to the basket, but I left myself with a little jump putt. I don't know, probably about 45 feet back. And my problem was I didn't put enough power on my putts for circle 2. I just kind of jumped up, and it wasn't a great attempt. But yeah, so I tapped it in for my par, which I'm happy about. Okay, hole 1, hole 4 for me though. Just using my Firebird at a little forehand line. That first tree right there to the right, that kind of tripped me out, so I went a little bit too much ante on it, and I kind of put myself into a bush, which wasn't a great spot, as you guys can see here, but I ended up just kind of pitching it out with a little forehand. So yeah, here's my forehand right now. It hits a tree after I kick it out, but it actually was a good tree, kind of giving it some love. Put about 5 feet back. Hole 2 and then hole 5 for me. I'm just using my Zeus. It goes straight and then kind of dog legs to the left, about 230 feet. And yeah, my drive was really good on this one. I barely missed that tree, if you can see there. And yeah, it just goes right down to the basket. I'm on the stairs. My lie is on the stairs, so a little awkward of a putt, but I ended up just, you know, cashing it. So yeah, that puts me 2 down. And this tee shot, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty hole for sure. And I just used my buzz again, just a straight flying disc downhill again. And I kicked the tree at the end by the basket, and I put myself right down by the by the basket, but I'm just downhill. But my putts have been feeling pretty good, so I had confidence going into this putt. Put it up, boom. That's 2 down through 2 now. This hole's tough. It's a par 4. You can't juice your first shot, or you get in a bad landing position. You just got to go something straight out there, hooks to the left, and then you have an uphill shot, like 100 feet uphill. It's crazy. And then your second shot should just be like an uphill shot. But I end up in the creek. Still have quite a bit of work to do. Out of my hand, this shot felt so good, and it would have been a really good shot, but it didn't stick to the hill. It just started rolling all the way down the hill. You can't really see it roll down the hill. My mom kind of didn't get the right view on it, but yeah, I'm downhill again. Throw my Firebird again, this time more flat, and I'm up the hill this time, but I do have a little bit of putt left to save my par, I believe I got on this one, which I could have had a birdie, but yeah. So here's my par putt, confidence, boom, smacked her in there for par. My putts felt really good today. This hole is also one that kind of just dog legs left but goes straight for a very long time. My Mayhem, I grip locked it a little bit. I ended up in the right of the fairway. I have this shot to save my par to kick out. And this shot was an alright shot. I just didn't put enough ante on it, and I released it too high. But it got through everything. And yeah, that left me with a putt to save my par. I'm kind of far back though, but again, I had confidence that day, so I just stepped up. I took a breather and I just putted and then cashed. I just cashed that one, which is pretty nice. I can't really remember what hole I'm on, but this hole is just very straightforward. It's like a very straight shot, but it kind of goes to the right a little bit. It's only about 180 feet. Use my buzz. I didn't put enough ante on it, but and at the end I got a bad kick pushing me left to the basket. But again, my putts felt great that day, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna step up, have confidence. Boom, putter in for my birdie, which puts me 3 down through I don't even know how many holes. This hole is another hole that pushes straight and then it pushes left at the very end. And out of my hand, this shot felt really good. It was a really good drive. And then at the end, you can kind of see it. I kind of felt like I hit a tree or something. So I was looking by a tree and it ended up being right by the basket. So yeah, I just put it for my birdie. That puts me 4 down. This hole, I wanted something that pushed straight for a very long time because it's a par 3 only, like 400 feet. But I don't have a disc that I really like using that can get there other than my buzz. My buzz is the only one that can actually do the shot I want to do. But obviously it's a buzz, so it's not going to get there 100%. But it was a good shot. Put me right in the middle of the fairway. And I had a little forehand flicker with my Firebird.
There you go.
And yeah, I rolled up there by the basket, then slid down a little bit, but it stuck, which was really nice. Just tapped her in. This is hole 9 for the course, and I'm using my Firebird a lot in this course and on this hole especially because it just dogs like rights. It just dog legs right. And yeah, I released it. It was a perfect shot, literally pretty perfect. You can't get really much better than that. So it left me with about an 11-footer to get my birdie. And yeah, I just grip locked the putt. There's nothing else to it. Tapped in it for my par. I was bummed about that, but it was still a good hole. Hole 10 for the course. It's a very straight shot. You're literally just looking down a tunnel with a narrow fairway and a low ceiling, and you have to just throw something down there. So I threw my buzz again, and it was a good drive, honestly. It didn't go straight as much as I wanted to. I threw it too much hyzer. So that put me with about I don't really know exactly. I don't remember how far this was. Probably it was a jump putt, so probably 40 feet. Just a little too short. Tapped it in for my par, which I'm more than happy taking that on this hole. Now, this hole is ridiculous. This one should be a par 4. I throw my Zeus. It's just ridiculous. I throw my Zeus a little too high. Hits an early tree and just kicks straight down. So I have a lot of work to do. My mom didn't get my second shot, but it was honestly a really good upshot. It was super good. But you see me here trying to find my lie because, yeah, I'm just surrounded by mud and water. And I don't even worry about putting my marker down because it's just like, why would I do that? It's just going to dirty my marker. It's a big hassle. So I do have a little bit of a tester putt to save my par, which, honestly, throwing that drive shot, I didn't have hope. I thought I was going to get a bogey on this hole, which I was fine with. But, yeah, my putts have felt confident that day. Like I said, sorry, I'm waiting for somebody to throw their putt, and yeah, I just cashed it for my par, which I'm more than happy taking a par on that hole. Hole 12, I believe, is a par 4 as well. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a par 4. You gotta get something that just pushes straight and then kind of goes to the left a little bit at the end. And yeah, I had another very good drive, a little right, but it traveled down there about probably 350 feet, hit a tree at the very end, and I'm kind of off the fairway, but yeah, I just decided to throw my Firebird at a little bit of a flex line. And just a little too much ante on it. There's nothing else to it. Just a little too much ante. Leaves myself with a little jump putt. It's an ante jump putt too, which I'm not good at these. I need to work on these a little bit more. There's 2 trees in my way, and I thought it was going in at first, but it hit a little branch at top. Just went ahead and absolutely juiced my putt and has it roll all the way back to where I was basically. So I have a little comeback here. To save my, what is it? This would be my bogey right here. So I have to make this to save my bogey, which again, I'm fine with taking a bogey on this hole, honestly, because it's a par 4. You're in the woods, narrow gap. It's just, yeah, it's a hard hole, but yeah. And I'm tapping in for my bogey. This hole is pretty tough too. You just got to have something that pushes straight, then turns right immediately, or you could do forehand. But I threw my Thrasher at a hyzer, and I barely missed that tree, literally by a hair. And I end up in a decent spot. I'm across the creek, about pin high with the basket, but I do have a little challenging jump putt. I don't want it to roll away either. But I end up grip locking it. And this is not the one you want to grip lock on. And it kind of rolled away a little bit, but I had a putt for my par, and I felt confident that day. So I just go ahead and take my time. That was my biggest thing too today, was I just needed to take my time with my putts, and boom, cashed it. Now hole 14, it shouldn't be as hard as I made it. I actually made it pretty easy, you will see in a second. But yeah, my drive was not great. I just released it too early, right into the trees, dropped, boom, puts myself like middle of the fairway. And then yeah, this is my lie right here. And this is also my best shot in tournament. I have a little flick forehand look, and I'm just lining it up right now. My people on my card were like, no way, he's using a driver, he's going to juice this thing. But no, I ended up just absolutely hashing it. Boom, chains, birdie, baby. So I'm talking about, I'm super surprised. That's my best shot in tournament I've ever had. You see me running up to it. I'm going to tap the top of it for some good luck. But yeah, that was a crazy moment. It was a good moment. Not going to forget it ever. Going to the last round, or last hole for this round. It's a par 4. Just have to have something that kind of pushes the fairway all the way down. And I throw it. Boom, it looks good. It's a perfect drive. It just kicks off of a tree at the very end there and drops straight down. But I'm in a good spot to save my par, to get my birdie still. Sorry, my bad. And I just juice it. Release it too high. It got through everything though, which is good still. And that leaves me with a jump putt to get my birdie. And go for it, and just a little to the right actually. But that leaves me with a nice easy tap in for my par. Right there. That puts me. So yeah, first round went great. I was sitting at 4 under. I was sitting in first place, and the cool thing about it is that obviously I was in MA4 for that tournament. I'm no longer going to be in MA4, obviously. I probably shouldn't have done MA4 in the first place. I was in MA3 last tournament. I got 5th place in, but I only did it because my buddy was in MA4 first tournament. I wanted to throw with him, but I didn't even end up getting teed off with him, so it kind of just was unfortunate like that. But cool thing about it is that after the first round, I was actually ahead of the lead person in MA2. So if I would have done MA2, I would have been in first place at the end of that round, which would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and roll the second round right now. And then after that, I'll let you know how I did, what place I got, and yeah, what my winnings were, you know. Hole 1, hole 15 for the course. It's about a 440-foot shot. It goes downhill about halfway through the fairway. It's super narrow. I just throw my buzz at a hyzer to get down there. A little low and not as right as I would want it, but my lie wasn't terrible. I was in place to do a little flex forehand with my, I don't know what's in my hand, probably, my Zeus. I wanted something that, is a little bit more understable, that it'll fight back for sure, but towards the end of the flight. So I'm just throwing my Zeus at a little bit of an Annie flex forehand, and too much Annie on it. But I did get a good little tree love kick right there to the middle of the fairway. I have a jump putt attempt for my birdie. And I actually just leave it too long. I end up tapping it in for my par, which on this hole, there's nothing wrong with the par. Hole 16, you can kind of just grip it and rip it. I'm using my Z Plastic Zeus on this one as well. That seems to be the trend at Northwood for me, is using my Zeus. Super reliable. But yeah, so I'm using my Zeus. I'm just ripping it with the backhand. I just release it way too low. It gets a little cut roll. It gets a pretty good cut roll though. I'm in a good placement on the fairway. I'm using my Zeus again, and I'm about probably 360-ish from the basket away right now. So I just got to kind of throw something. Throw my Zeus. It's a perfect line, but obviously you see it slopes downhill after the basket. I thought I almost aced it, or not aced it, but eagled it, and I just skipped down to the pine tree, and at this point I just have to pitch out. There's no gap in between the putt. So I pitch out, and I just take my par, which I'm more than happy with. Hole 17, just throwing my buzz at a hyzer. Get a horrible kick to the right side of the fairway. I'm not in a good spot at all. I basically just have to pitch out on this one too, because there's literally no gap to throw in. Like there's no way I'm getting a par on this hole. So then I just throw it out, take my buzz, and I throw it up to the basket. I leave myself a little short. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was good down there, but again, I was downhill, so it just looked better for my position. And I just short leg it. Yeah, just a short putt right there. Missed it. But yeah, going on to hole 18 now, hole 3 for me. I am just throwing my Zeus again at a backhand line. Boom. It was a decent shot. I got out of the gap, but I just pushed it too far left after the gap. So you'll see in my next shot, I'm just barely into the woods. But yeah, I made it down about 400 feet. Have about about 250 more feet to go. I throw my Zeus again at a forehand, but then this time I just release it way too high. I'm just way too high in the air, not enough ante, and it just hyzers right back down. I thought it was going to be clear of the pine tree, but I'm just right underneath the pine tree. So I try something very stupid here. I try a patent pending backhand with my Thrasher, but doing that just didn't give me enough arm speed to make it turn over the fully. So it got out of it, and it fought into the other side of the trees. Right, so this is already not looking good for me. This hole just sucks. This hole just sucked. But yeah, I'm like so far deep into this, I literally just have to pitch out once again. There's no shot for me at all. So I just do a little forehand roller just to try to get myself out there, and it almost curls all the way back into the woods. I'm right before the woods again. Now keep in mind, this one, I think this is for my 5th shot right here that I'm about to take, and it was just not pretty. So this shot, I'm just doing a little backhand with my buzz, and almost actually put it in. I hit the bottom of the basket right there. So yeah, tapping it in for I think my 6 or my 7. That was not a good hole. But moving on to hole 1 now. Using my Firebird, just released it way too early. I just got to kick down into the fairway, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with being in the fairway on this hole. I've said it before in last video. This hole is not something you want to really go for unless you have a disc that will slow down. But yeah. Using my buzz for my upshot, just trying to put myself to the basket, close to as much as possible. And yeah, end up not putting enough nose up onto it. So yeah, I left myself with a horrible putt again. Just not this, I don't know why, but like after the first round, the second round just kind of just fell apart for me, it felt like. I don't know, I just was super exhausted. I only got 4.5 hours of sleep the night before. That is why you get your sleep before tournaments, and I will take that note now. But yeah, just doing a nice little putt up there. Boom. Absolutely. I don't know if I hit the top or the bottom. Either way, I missed the putt, and I have to tap it in for my bogey, which is not what you want on that hole. Hole 2 is a pretty straightforward one, using my buzz. You guys saw it last week's. Basically the same shots as last week. Yeah, use my buzz, just trying to make it down the middle gap. I got a kick right there to the left of the fairway, which is fine. This hole is very short, so this is one that if you do kick off left or right, really, you should be able to get up and down for your par because it's such a short hole. I'm actually going for a jump putt here, which kind of crazy. I'm like 80 feet back, but yeah, I'm going for a jump putt here just to put myself close. And grip locked it a little bit, but it worked out pretty good. I'm up there right by the basket, tapped it in right for my my par there, which I'll take it. That's a good hole to get a par on. Alrighty, and then moving on to hole 3, I'm using my Firebird, which is actually different from last week, at a forehand, which worked out way better. I'm actually up the hill. I got a huge skip, but not forward, mainly just a skip up in the air. So yeah, that leaves me with about a 40-footer. And I'm over here just like, okay, this is like my 17th Circle 2 putt. I gotta finally put one in. And I do it, and boom. Nice. Finally put one in. It felt really good to me. Nice little birdie to get. Alright, going on to hole 4. This one you have to play something wide and stable because the ground is very skippy out here. And it'll skip. And yeah, so I throw my Firebird at a hyzer. A little wider than what I would usually, but I'm not wide enough still. And I skip into the woods. Not looking great for my my birdie attempt. I'm about, I'd say circles 2, like 35 feet away from the basket. I'm inside the rough. And all my putts have been on target. They've just been so short. So that putt rolls right back into the woods again. I probably should have just laid it up, but, you know, me being me, I'm not smart when it comes to that stuff. So this is my putt attempt for my par. Boom. Short-legged it again. What am I doing? Put some leg power into your putts, Chris. I don't know what you're doing. But anyways, tapped it in for my bogey. Not something you want on that hole especially. But yeah, this one you can kind of see me do my my line right here. I'm trying an insane line. I probably shouldn't have tried, to be honest. But yeah, it's a little forehand flex around the whole entire main fairway. But yeah, I hit the line pretty good, just a little too high. End up on the right side of the fairway, down below the little hump of the hill. So yeah, I'm sitting right here. They're watching out for their lives down there on the staircase, and they're like, "Do I need to move?" I'm like, "No, you're good. I'm not gonna hit you." And yeah, I didn't hit them. I just went way too far left of the basket. But that's not terrible, because I do have a jump putt attempt for my birdie still, which is kind of crazy after seeing the lie of my second shot. I just didn't think I'd even have a look at birdie. But so I do have a little look at birdie. I'm lining it up right here. I go for it. It's looking all right. Plopped right in front of the basket. Again, a little short-legged. And I didn't give it enough straightness either. I just kind of floated it up, which is something I need to get better about as well. Going into hole 6, this one is just a pretty straight shot. It goes left at the very end. I'm using my Zeus. This was like one of my best shots of this round. All right. So yeah, my shot was pretty good. I ended up like, I don't know, 25 from the basket maybe 20. Yeah, 20 from the basket. And I'm looking at this, okay, this is like the putts I was making all last round. I got this in the bag. I just need to give it some legs, not worry about it, and just put it in. And yeah, I just absolutely airballed it. It was good distance, good power, but yeah, just tapped it in for my par. Unfortunate. Hole 7, I've been doing this line every single time I play this course now since last weekend. It's just a wide hyzer. It's pretty straight and forward. I'm using my warbird on this one, something I know will get back. And yeah, it was actually a pretty good shot. I ended up being like, I don't know, 15 feet from the basket. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I don't make this putt, I am embarrassed for myself. That is crazy. I need to make this putt. Boom, pow. Finally make one. Another birdie. That's a great birdie to get. Hole 7 is another one where it's like a very, very, very straight, narrow, low ceiling shot, about 340 feet. Using my buzz on this one, and yeah, it's a pretty... It felt all right, but it's super low, and I just released it too late. Grip lock, it's just a mixture of everything. This is my lie. I'm about 150 from the basket, probably. I'm lining up for little Annie. Boom! Well, Chris, there's a tree in the middle of the fairway. You gotta watch out for that, buddy. So then I'm taking my buzz again, and I'm just kind of trying to just put it close to the basket at this point. I know I'm going to take a bogey at least. So I throw it, and it's a really good line, but I just juiced it. I'm just past the basket. I'm looking at probably about a 15, 20 feet putt to save bogey. And yeah, just, what are you doing, Chris? Just use your legs, man. What are you doing? So yeah, I missed that putt too. So I took a double bogey on that hole. That should not be a double bogey hole, but it was. This hole is pretty hard. It's something I'm just using my Thrasher. I know it'll carry straight and then push right, but I just released it too late and kicked left again. It's like the same exact shot as last weekend. I just need to get better about my drives, I guess. But yeah, I'm using my Warbird, a little bit of a flex line, and I actually did the same line I did the other day, but I didn't put enough ante on it, and I'm all the way on the right side. I'm pin high, but I'm just super far right. So I'm just over here. I have to do a scoober, which if you know me, you know that if I do a scoober, I am not in a good spot. I do not like doing scoobers. So doing a little scoober, I kick out a decent bit, and leave myself with probably about a 15, 20 footer, I'd say. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, do not short leg it. And I don't. I just don't have the right aim. I hit the right side of the chains, and it just chains out. That's completely my fault. Can't blame anybody but myself. Hole 10 is pretty straightforward. Just another little flex forehand. Throw mine way too high. This is a hole that you need to birdie. This is not a parable. Like, this is very birdieable. And I just hit a tree, plop straight down. I'm using my Challenger OS on this shot, this up shot. And yeah, just going to try to put something close to the basket. And boom. Perfect upshot. Just go ahead and tap it in for my par. Alright, moving on to hole 11. This one's a 600-foot shot. Par 4. Basically just a straightforward shot. Just a very low ceiling the whole entire way. I'm just throwing my Zeus on this one. Just trying to rip it. And I ripped it alright. But it was just super low. It was a good shot. Just super low. And I'm not too happy about it. But I just, at this point, I'm like, alright, I just need to get this round over with. I just need to par out, get this round over with. Taking my Zeus again. Boom. This one was a good shot. I was still about 440 away from the basket. And this one just went, man. It flew so far. I'd say I'm probably about, I don't know, 45 feet from the basket right now. So I probably threw that one about 400 feet. And yeah, use my Challenger OS. Boom. Such a good line, but just a little too far right. And yeah, I have a tricky little putt here for my par right here. I need to make this. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've been short-legging it all day. I got to give it an actual bid. I bid it. Boom. That is a great par to get, especially because my putting my second round was not great. Hole 12 is pretty straightforward as well. It's just another nice little flex forehand. And I'm using my fiber on this one, and I flex it a little bit too much. But this shot was still pretty decent. It left me with about probably, I'd say a 30-footer, 35-footer probably. And yeah, 35 for sure. So yeah, I'm sitting right here. I'm just like, okay, I got to make this one, get a birdie, just, you know, play some good golf the rest of the day, you know. And I didn't give it enough power, I'd say, because the line was fine. I just didn't give enough power, so it just floated to the left of the basket. Tapped in for my par, which I'm fine with. I just wanted to par out the rest of the round. Hole 13 is no gimme either. It's one that you have to just do it's a low ceiling and it's a flex forehand shot. I'm using my Firebird and I flex it too much and I'm a little too low. I wanted it to be a little bit higher, but I did get past that middle tree in the fairway, which is fine. That's where I wanted to be. And right here, I'm just using my Challenger OS, just trying to put something close to the basket within 10-15 feet. And yeah, I'm about 15 feet away. It wasn't a great up shot, but I am about 15 feet away. So I'm like, okay, I can make this putt for sure. All right, I'm confident. I just need to put some legs on it and make this damn putt. And yeah, I putt it and completely airball once again. What am I doing? Putting, I need to work on for the next 2 weeks before the AM Championships. I need to. But yeah, hole 14 is a very hard hole too. I'm using my Firebird. Same shot as last weekend. And just a little too high. It was a perfect shot, but just a little too high. Kicked down into the fairway, which is fine.
On the fairway.
And with this shot, I'm just using a forehand skipper right here. Just boom, forehand. A little too wide, but it actually made it through the trees. And yeah, I was happy with that. This putt is probably about 35 feet away. And I'm like, okay, this is a great putt to just finish the round on. I need to just make this and call it a good day and, you know, go home knowing that I can make at least a nice 35-footer to, you know, finish the round. And I cashed it. So this is where I stood after round 2. This is how I finished. I'm +5 for the whole thing. I shot like a 908 rated tournament, which was my best ever tournament. I'd say something I really need to work on is my putting. My putting, if I would have made my putts, I would have probably shot like probably a 5 down that whole entire day. I probably would have shot like a 5 down if I would have just made my putts and played smart golf. But I'm still happy with how I finished. I finished first place, +5 for the whole thing, a 908 rated tournament. So let me show you what I got. So cashing out in this tournament isn't really getting cash. It's you get like a store credit to either their site or they had a pro shop at the actual event. So what I did was I just looked around at the event, seeing if I seen anything that I wanted. First place got $114 in my division. So that is what I had to spend on discs. All right, so I got all Discraft discs. And the first one I got was this really nice Z Buzz OS, and I've never even thrown a Buzz OS before. These have not been thrown yet. It's been about 3 days since the tournament, but yeah, I just like the way it looked. I like the red, white, and blue effect on it, and I don't know if I'll ever even throw this disc. It's just something that I might just hang up because it's like it's a sick looking disc. The next disc I ended up getting was this Buzz SS. It is also a Z. It's also a Z plastic with a little bit of a ghost stamp on it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just a beautiful disc. This one I will end up throwing, I think. I like Z plastic. I used to hate it, but I actually like it now. I feel like I can grip it better than most ESP discs. But, yeah, so I got a Buzz SS, a Buzz OS. I like this colorway, too. It's like a little bit, on camera, it looks more pink than what it is. It's more of a red pink. It's like, not really super pink, but it's like, you know, not super dark red either. But, yeah, I like this disc a lot, too. Up next, I got an ESP Sparkle Paul Ulibarri Buzz. I saw this thing and I was like, okay, I don't even care how much money this is. I need to get this. It ended up being $25, which is kind of steep for a disc. But yeah, I got a Paul Ulibarri Buzz. This thing is so nice. I don't know if I'll ever even throw this one, but I don't know. It's just such a nice disc. I had to pick it up. Up next, I ended up getting a Crystal Flex Zone with a Ledgestone stamp on it. This thing is just so nice. There's no explaining. It's a Zone. You need one in your bag. If you don't have one, I don't know what you're doing. Zone. The next disc I ended up getting was a Discraft Heat. I needed one of these. I've never thrown one before. Still haven't to this day. And yeah, I've seen Bodanza use them, and he throws good with them. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try them out. This was only like 16 bucks. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cop this one. Why not? And then a little bit of a backstory about this disc. I used to have one of these, and I lost the inside of a pond, and I've been trying to dig it out for like 3 months straight, and I just haven't been able to find it. But I finally got one. It is a Ezra Adderhold Nuke. It's a Ghost Stamp one. This is literally the same exact disc I had last time, just this one's a little bit more lighter. The other one had more swirl in it, but this is an ESP swirl as well. And yeah, this disc is just so reliable. I loved this thing. Like, it flew so good. I could get, like, before I even had a bigger arm than I do now, I could get like probably 360 with it, and that was when I first started, you know, actually getting serious into disc golf. But now I don't know, I could probably throw this thing up to 450, 480, you know. So this disc is super good, super reliable. It, you know, I know what it's gonna do personally. It's a brand new one though, so I have to beat it in a little bit. But yeah, Ezra Adderhold Nuke. But yeah, that's been your boy KXH Rising with this video. If you guys want more videos like this, make sure you guys subscribe, you guys drop a like, you guys comment down below. Make sure you let me know that you want more like these. And I will start posting more like this. I know I posted one last weekend. Now this weekend, I'll definitely post one for the AMs. And yeah, I'll see you guys there. Stay lovely. It's been your boy KXH Rising. Peace out.